Hi, I'm Tazkia Putri Mahmuda from English Department 2019, and in this video I would like to make a short explanation about the second language acquisition theories and perspective. Let's get on to the explanation. First theory is behaviorism, and this is the earliest theory in the second language acquisition. This theory based on animal study like a Pavlov's dog experiment. Behaviorism consists of imitating, practicing, reinforcing, and forming habits. The limitation of these theories is if we only learn by imitation and repetition, we only can say things what we heard, but in fact, we can say words what we never had before. And the second theory is innativism. This theory is innate knowledge of universal grammar that allow children to acquire the language of their environment during a critical period of their development. Some researchers say that maybe universal grammar is adequate for explaining first language, but it is not adequate for second language learning of older people. Stephen Krashen developed the monitor model, which consists of 5 hypotheses. First is acquisitional learning hypothesis. Second, monitor hypothesis. This hypothesis state that learners monitoring their minor changes, policing rules and patterns. Third, natural order hypothesis. And this hypothesis states that language rules that are easiest to state are not the first to be acquired. Fourth, comprehensible input hypothesis. Input has to be unknown or beyond the level of learners. And the fifth is affective filter hypothesis. It's about the negative attitude that hinder the acquisition, such as anxiety, boredom, and lack of motivation. Next is cognitive perspective. This perspective uses the computer as the metaphor of mind. It can be storing, integrating, retrieving, and processing information. Based on this idea, building up knowledge can become automatic when speaking and understanding. The processes are paying attention to language features, practicing an experience for easily process, and able to use the feature naturally and automatically. There are several theories which are connected to cognitive perspective. First is usage-based learning from Nick Ellis. This theory about the frequency with which learners encounter specific linguistic features in the input and the frequency with which language features occurs together. According to this theory, learners create connection between language features and the context in which they occur. Some researchers state learners learn in larger units or chunks, not one word at a time. Second, competition model by McWhinney. McWhinney states that learning the relative importance of the different cues appropriate in the target language. The third, language and the brain. For a long time, we believed that language functions were located in the left hemisphere of the brain. However, the study shows activation in different locations in both brain hemispheres during language process. Researchers said that the activation is dependent on learners' proficiency in age. Fourth, interaction hypothesis by Michael Long. He agrees with comprehensible hypothesis by Stephen Krashen. However, he emphasized how input could be made comprehensible through modified interaction. Learners need opportunities to interact with other people, especially native speakers, and working together to reach the understanding. This interaction involves linguistic simplification, elaboration, slower speech act, gesture, and contextual cues. The interaction that can be applied are comprehension check. The example is like, do you understand what I saying before? Next is classification request. It's like pardon, can you repeat please? And the last is self-repetition or paraphrasing. Fifth theory is comprehensible input from Richard Smith. Comprehensible input does not lead to growth in language knowledge unless the learner becomes aware of particular language features. And the last is processability by Manfred. It is about the processing and developing language features in the language learning. The findings are 1. Position of language features influence the process. 2. Language features that at the beginning and the end were easier to process than those in the middle. 3. Acquire at different rate but with the same order or sequences. And the last is sociocultural perspective. This perspective views that speaking and thinking are intertwined. Learners who speaking and writing at second language will lead it to internalization of input and output. Internalize occur when the learner interact with an interlocutor within their zone of proximal development. The further explanation of this perspective is by Swain and Sharon, called Learning by Taking. Producing language or output makes learners pay attention to the language features they used. And Swain and Sharon propose collaboration dialogues for this perspective. And that's all the theories and perspectives that I can explain in this video. There are so many theories, but until now, experts still does not got a common ground about the theory and perspective in the second language acquisition. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.